Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Neverwinter Field Report. It is May 9th, 2013, and this is Day 9 of the official launch of Neverwinter. When I say launch, it's open beta. It is actually Day 13 for me, due to the early access of the Guardian of the North pack. So I've been playing for a bit, and I wanted to get some updated thoughts on the game, to basically let everyone know what I think about the game, my updated thoughts on the economy, just everything in general. And this is especially in response to a lot of the things I've been getting in the comment section on my economy video, which was recorded on the third closed beta event. And that was a week before the fourth beta event, which was about 2 weeks before launch of the game. So you have to keep in mind that is a fairly older video in terms of, news and updates. And at the time, I looked at the game and I looked at what they sold in the cash shop and things like that, and trying to get an estimate of, is this game going to be just a nice free-to-play game that has some cosmetic options, a la, say, Path of Exile, maybe, say, like a Smite or a Hawken. These games have pretty nice models where you don't really have to spend any money. You can play the game without any major advantages as a free-to-play player, compared to someone that wants to spend money. The people that spend money get an inherent advantage as far as time, but as a person who plays for free, continues to play, they will eventually be able to get into things. And I made the assessment that this game looked like it wasn't going to really have any major issues, except for when I got into beta weekend 4, I noticed the pay for respec option. Here you won't be able to see it because I have a respec coin because of the Founders Pack, where I was a little disappointed that you had to pay Zen for a respec, and my problem there was because it was only real money. At the time it was 500 Zen. I believe it's been increased to 600 Zen, so it's about 600 Zen for a respec. That's about $6. Now, I'm still reserving judgment at this time. I've said this a couple times in comments. I want to wait to see how things end up before I make a final judgment on the economy here, because here's what's happening. Let me go into the trading post and you'll kind of see this. In this game, the lowest amount you can set a Zen to Astral Diamond trade rate is for 50 diamonds per Zen. The highest is 500. So there are protections in place to keep the economy from going way too high, and of course things in place to keep it from going way too low. When the game started out, it was at the maximum it could possibly go. 500 diamonds to the Zen. That is terribly prohibitive to a free-to-play player. If you're not going to put any money into the game, and even as someone that bought a Founders Pack, I'm sitting here, as you can see, with a chunk of diamonds. These diamonds are not worth much to me right now. Just because, or at least, well, now they're getting better, but at the time they were not worth that much to me. Because 500 gems to the Zen, it was just not a good trade rate. It wasn't, I felt like the value wasn't quite there. But here's the good news. As you can see, it's down to 378, 380 at the time of this recording. It went down to about 400 in a week's time. And you can see here, it's going down quite nicely. So as the game progresses, and this is why I want to wait, it may take a month or two before things get to right around where the prices are going to be. And the reason why they're going down is because in this game, Astral Diamonds are used for everything. Zen is great. Zen is fantastic. A lot of people want to have Zen because there's some really good stuff in the Zen Shop. But Astral Diamonds are used for so much stuff in this game. If you want to do transmogrification like in World of Warcraft, you want to make a piece of gear look like another piece, you can change the appearance, and this will of course cost you diamonds, and you can of course select how you want it to look. I don't have anything to really do that with. You want to respec feats, that's done in Astral Diamonds as well. A lot of things, purchasing things for your pets, mounts, Astral Diamonds. The auction house in this game. Let's see if we can't pull that up here. And let's see, find similar. There we go. The auction house. Everything in the auction house. If I just go in here, everything is done in Astral Diamonds. So you can't use the in-game gold to buy things on the auction. It has to be in diamonds. Now, unfortunately, this seems to have caused a small problem with the game that I have, and that's that gold appears to be pretty much useless. There are a few things you can use gold for. You can use it for basic crafting materials. You can use it for mounts. You can use it for kits for farming. You can use it for professions. I don't really see it being used for anything else because you really don't need it to buy gear. So I kind of hate to see that gold has become that. I kind of wish there was more that you could do with gold. In fact, I kind of wish the respec was done in gold or something. But yeah, there is that kind of issue. But Astral Diamonds are going to be the big thing, the big draw that you're going to need. So that is why diamonds will become more and more valuable. As players play the game, they're going to want diamonds. As a matter of fact, if you're crafting, if you want to speed up your crafting and get anything, you need to spend diamonds. Diamonds are everywhere, and there is a finite amount that you can earn. You can only get 24,000 in a day through normal means, which means, let's assume that no diamonds were in the economy at all. Everybody started fresh. That means, reasonably, if everybody could max out their diamonds every day at the start of the game, everybody would only be getting 24,000 in a day. So that means the diamonds are going to be streamlined. They're going to be very set in how you get them. So you can see that there's a steady stream of economy happening here. And the diamonds being used for everything means that those diamonds will become valuable. The diamonds will be going out of the system. So the diamonds won't linger because you spend the diamonds on things like crafting. They go out. They're out of the economy. And the only way to get more than your daily allotment is to sell things on the auction house. So you can get more than that, but you have to rely on other people to get rid of their diamonds. So let's talk about the wonderful Zen Shop here. And I made the first assessment that it looked like the things that you can buy in the Zen Shop are decent enough that they're not going to be overpowered. You're not really paying for power. That was my primary assessment. And if you look at the Zen Shop, it still almost seems that way. But there's some things I found out that I can see why people are saying there's a pay-to-win system here. And that is mostly for PvP. PvE seems great. Honestly, if someone is more powerful than you in PvP because he spent money in the game, or sorry, PvE, that doesn't seem like to be a big deal. Okay, so you've got a party member that's kind of pulling a bit more weight. Okay, sure, there might be some elitism coming out of that. Elitism. I can't talk tonight, I apologize. I can see that happening, but I don't think that's going to be detrimental. In here, a lot of what you buy in the Zen store is really quality of life stuff. You've got some wards, but the pricing just seems a little off at times. So you've got these preservation wards, for example. These are used in combining runes. Runes are equipment enchantments. Let me try and pull that up real quick. You can see something like this. This is for companions. This one's for items. And here you can see I can put it into a weapon slot to get critical strike. I can get defense, experience gain. If you try to combine these, you have a certain amount of success. It takes 4 of these to combine into the next level. There's a chance of failure. The chance of failure starts at about 95% success, basically 95% success, and then with each level it goes down by 5% or so. It might not be linear. And so as you get higher and higher runes, you're going to have a higher and higher chance to fail, so you're going to want something like these preservation wards. And this isn't too bad. You get 10 of these for $1, roughly. And as you can see, what happens is if you fail, the the ward is taken up instead of the rune. So you basically save the stuff you're using. And this is, again, 10 for $1. That's nice. Now, if you want to guarantee success, you can get this coalescent ward. It guarantees the fusing, but it will always take the ward when you do the fusing process. This is $10. $10 for this thing. And what's worse, I'll go ahead and talk about it now, and I want to thank ZiggyDStarcraft for this. ZiggyD put up a video, and I'll link it to you here in the video, and I'll try and get some pictures of some of the items you can find. That there's some shards that you get later in the game. I haven't hit max level, so I only found out about this thanks to Ziggy. You get these shards for these high-level enchantments, and these shards don't even do anything on their own. You have to get 4 of these to combine it into the rank 1 rune. The chance of success for these shards is 1%. 1%. That is insane. In order to work as a free-to-play player, it's not gonna happen unless you're insanely lucky. So you have to get these wards. So you're basically spending $10 just to get a rank 1, and then you have to do it again 4 times to get 4 of those runes, and then yet again to get a rank 2. And they offer some really nice benefits at the end level. And this is where the whole pay-to-win mentality is coming from. If you put money into the system for these rune shards, you're essentially paying for power in PvP. Again, I don't see that being a main issue for the whole MMO thing as far as dungeons, whatever, questing. I mean, sure, it might make life a little bit easier for that person, and again, it'll make life easier for the people running the dungeons. But in the end, you're fighting a computer, and you're essentially just paying to make the game a little bit easier on you. But when it comes to the competitive nature of the game, of PvP and all that, I don't care for that. Now, again, this may not be super terrible. If the economy comes down, and we get to, say, maybe get 150 Astral Diamonds to the Zen, which is what I'm hearing from people that play other Perfect World games. They cite, like, StarTrek Online. And they say that it's about 150 is in. So if we take that 150, we multiply it by the 1,000, pretty much tell you you're going to need 150,000 of your diamonds. And that can take a chunk out of your diamonds, obviously. You get 24,000 in a day. So you're looking at farming a few days if you get maximum. So this might not be too bad. Right now, it looks horrible. It looks horrible because the economy is too high. And this may even solve the problem that I have with the respec, the pay for respec. 600 Zen to respec my powers. That'll be nothing if it comes to 150 diamonds. But the problem is it's going to take, again, it's going to take time. I have to have the economy stabilized before I can give a final assessment of that. So if the economy does stable out, then this whole pay-to-win thing may no longer be an issue. Because then it's time. Which is the big thing. I said a while back, and a few other videos when it comes to free-to-play, that I feel that if you are paying for a immediate gratification, like if a free-to-play player can get the same things that a person that pays can get, but it's just going to take them a little bit longer, I usually don't consider that to be necessarily pay-to-win. Although this may be too generic of a view to really... it's a little more complicated than that. It depends on the gap. For example, if it takes that person 2-3 months, where this person can just pay now, that might be a bit much. That you're starting to look at this person is getting a decided power advantage for a long time, and then that power advantage will increase because they can just spend more money, whereas the free-to-play person cannot catch up. So there's definitely a limit. There's a line. I mean, I look at games like Hawken. Hawken, you can buy mechs and weapons and equipment very quickly and easily, and it's not a problem. I look at, say, Tribes, Smite. Maybe not so much Smite. Smite, I noticed there's an issue when you hit max level that you stop getting huge chunks of favor from leveling. So you start to have this dry spell of gods, or at least right now, because new gods come out and they're twice as expensive as old ones. But those usually are pretty good examples to me. You know, like Tribes Ascend was a pretty good example because you could just play, and they made it even better over time because they made it so that you got natural experience rather than having to spend your hard-earned experience. Your weapons would level up just by using them, so that's great. So this might not become that big of a deal. It really might not. So let's go back to the store just to see if there's anything else. I mean, there's companions. Certainly, those are kind of powerful, but you can buy companions in this game for gold. So I'll show you this. There are hidden fees that I'm not happy with, though. I've made some arguments in the Neverwinter forums, and it's something that I caught from Path of Exile, is that people complain about some of the stuff in the Zen Shop being super expensive. So we'll go down to companion mounts. Let's say look at horses. Or no, let's look at all. You've got mounts in here that are 30 bucks. You've got some pretty expensive stuff in here, right? Well, people are complaining about the prices of the Zen Shop.
Just point me at the bad guys.
And my argument was that it's nice if they have things that are cheap, but they also want to have things that are expensive. The devs of Path of Exile said the reason what they have expensive enchants, and think about it this way, in Path of Exile, everything you buy in that game is cosmetic, 100% cosmetic. You do get no advantage whatsoever for what you buy in that game. And they've got enchants that are as cheap as a couple bucks, and some that are as expensive as 50, possibly more. And the reason they did this is because they found that people wanted that. People were asking for it. They're like, hey, I want a way to give you guys lots of money, and I want something that's going to look cool that I know no one else is going to have. And so they did it. And so something like this amount, like here, we got a $40 mount, an armored bear. This is completely new. Hadn't seen this guy before. So something like this amount that's basically just a different skin, does the same thing as all other mounts. I don't have a problem with that. It's when it comes to the power levels and things like that that it starts to get a little iffy, and it depends again on what's the time gap between players. There is a slight problem here though, is when it comes to mounts. These mounts will start off at 110% movement speed, depending on which ones you get. Some of these real strong ones will be very high. Now, you can upgrade any of these mounts from a level 1 to a level 2 to a level 3 to make them faster, but it's going to cost you a lot of Astral Diamonds. Maximum level, I believe, is 2 million Astral Diamonds, which is funny because that's the amount that the $200 Founders Pack people got. So basically they're saying, hey, you gave us $200, you can basically upgrade one mount for free. Well, they already got mounts, so that's not a big deal, right? It just almost seems like 2 million wasn't really a big deal because there's a lot of stuff in this game that's 2 million or more. But here's something that kind of gets me, is there are hidden fees. I kind of wish they would be more forthcoming about what it takes to buy things. I don't mind that there might be a progression of money that you need to spend to get stuff. I mean, it happens. I mean, let's look at Guild Wars 2. You can get treasure chests that you have to open with keys, and those by doing that, you have a lottery system that you can get these items, get some pretty neat items, possibly get some mount skins that are really nice. But most of those items are also available to purchase if you just want to buy them outright. They're just going to be more expensive. In this, they don't really do that. So let's look at this. We have these things, and this is a little confusing to me. You have these two things. This is an augment, Eon Stone of Might. It's kind of a pet, right? Goes around with you and it buffs you. And you've got this Fire Archon, which is an actual companion, a pet that follows you around and does damage to enemies. These need to be bought with 1,000 of these Tarmaloon bars, Tarmaloon trade bars. So if you want to get this really cool companion, you got to get 1,000 of this resource. And you might be sitting there like, well, wait a minute, what the hell are these bars, right? These bars are only obtainable through treasure chests that you find in the world. So just exactly like Guild Wars 2, right? It's pretty much the same exact thing here. You get treasure chests, you open them. So let me go ahead and show the treasure chest here for people that might not have seen it. That's this thing here. You have to get an enchanted key to open this box. Let's go ahead and put that in my inventory. It has a chance to have things like the Heavy Inferno Nightmare Mount or some companions. So there's some really cool stuff in here. But the box also contains approximately 10 Tarmaloon trade bars. 10 bars. Okay, so you need 1,000 of those bars to get that mount. Okay. So we look at 1,000 of those, and we get 10 of these boxes. So I need 100 boxes, right? Roughly? But that's if they have 10 bars. It might not. It could have less. It may have more. You don't know. And to open these boxes, just like Guild Wars, you have to go in here and you have to buy these enchanted keys. 125 Zen. $1.25. You get a slight discount if you buy 10. So $1.25, you have to buy about 100 of these so you can have the keys to unlock all the boxes. So you're looking at spending roughly $100. And that's assuming you have all the chests you need. So you might be spending diamonds to get the chests and blah blah blah. So it's a little hidden on what the actual costs there are. Now again, this is going to all become a little less of an issue as you can start trading Zen for keys, or sorry, Zen for diamonds and vice versa. So right now though, a lot of things feel very prohibitive as a free-to-play player just coming into the game. It seems like people who want to play it might wait a while before they start going into some of these microtransactions. It's just right now everything feels... It does feel cost prohibitive, and you can kind of see where some of the worry comes from. And, for example, why I didn't care for respecs being Zen, because when I looked at what the market was going to be, it was going to be so prohibitive to actually respec from diamonds, because you would have to spend so much time getting these diamonds. And when you think about it, even with max diamonds, so let's say for example you're going to go for a mount at level 3. You bought a mount with your gold. You wanted to get at level 3. That's 2 million diamonds, but you only get 2,400 a day. You're going to spend about 3 months farming diamonds if you never use the auction house to get that mount up to level 3. That's crazy. There's so many things that you can use diamonds for that you're going to have to make a decision. Do you use your diamonds for the stuff in the game? Do you use your diamonds for Zen? And there's things that I don't even know what's going to on how you're going to upgrade stuff. So, example here, the training tomes. These are for upgrading your companions. Your companions can only go up to level 15 from the ones you buy with gold. In order to level them, you have to get these. And I don't know if they're going to be diamonds, if they're going to be Zen. I don't know. They could be anything. So I'm still reserving judgment. I feel that PvP is going to have a decided pay-to-win feel right now in the very beginning. Why? Because there is a huge cost difference between Zen and Astral Diamonds at the moment. And this is mainly because there's a lot of people that got Founders Packs. Like, I got 600,000, 2 million are given to the people that got $200. So there's a huge supply of Astral Diamonds right now. So the supply is kind of out meeting the demand right now, and as more demand comes in, and as more diamonds leave the economy, it'll start going down, and things will kind of fluctuate. I don't think it's ever going to go down to 50, but it'll go down. We'll just have to see how far down it goes. So that aside, I wasn't planning on spending that much time talking about the economy, but I really wanted to put an update out there because I've been seeing so many posts on it, and I had put out my own fears. And as I've seen more and more, I've been reassured, and I'm hoping that it will balance out. But I'll tell you, it's scary. It really is scary, because one of the things that I look at, I'm going to show you this real quick, because once again, I'm looking at pay-to-play versus, or pay-to-win or whatever. There is one thing that concerns me, and again, I have to wait for the diamond market to go down. I know I've said that a lot, but I just want to stress that, because I feel that it's important to keep that in mind, that this could change at any moment. This is what concerns me, though. I look at crafting, and I have an item like this that gives me a 16% quality boost. So what happens when you craft a high-level item, blue, for example? You have two possible outcomes. The standard outcome, which you can always get, or a random, better quality item that's got better stats. You can increase the probability of this happening by using things such as hammers and anvils, or whatever your trade happens to use, because all the trades are honestly the same. It's just a different item, so it's a different skin, different name. So you get something like this, which is this hammer, this 16% quality. Now, if I could get these green hammers on my own, that'd be kind of cool, because as you can see here, I've got a recipe that takes 4 of these hammers that gives 16 quality, and I can trade them in for a 24% quality hammer. So if I could get these in game, maybe through diamonds or through crafting quests, it might not be a big deal. These iron hammers, as you can see from the description, are only found in professional booster packs. Only in booster packs, which are only found in the Zen Shop. The asset pack is probably the best way to get it, and that's $16. This booster pack, let's see what we have. Epic or rare professional resource, epic or rare uncommon professional asset, and 2 uncommon assets. So let's take a look at what the actual asset pack contains. It has 1 epic or rare professional asset, 2 epic rare or uncommon assets, a rare or uncommon asset. Yeah, so basically you get a lot of assets, which, you know, are things like the hammer here. And so the professional booster pack only has a chance at giving you 1 asset. So if you really want the assets like the hammers, you're going to have to get this one. That's $16. Again, right now, that's crazy. That feels pay to win. Because crafting, if I'm going to pay for crafting, make me pay for speed. Which is what they're doing here with the Astral Diamonds. You're paying for speed. But now I look at crafting, and crafting is very prohibitive without those items because a lot of the items are not as good as you're leveling with crafting, as what you're finding. So if I want my items to be good, especially towards the end game, I have to have that stuff. It means I have to spend money, which means I have to use Zen right now because, again, the diamonds aren't worth it. But that may change. As you can see, I'm of 2 minds of this whole thing. On one hand, I feel right now the game is very much grueling and risking to be on that pay-to-win scale. But I also feel that there's a potential for things to even out, and as the economy balances itself out, and then it's just going to become a matter of time, that the time investment will become a lot better for free-to-player. So all that aside, again, went very long on that, longer than I intended. The game has felt great. I am, as you can see, at level 36. I am gaining levels through crafting, through invoking. I've got several characters going through, so I haven't spent a lot of time getting to 60. I know I have several friends now that are 60 already. They did so days ago. So it seems like there's really no punishment. If you want to play the game, you just want to go through it PvE without spending a dime, you're golden. The game is absolutely fantastic. I am playing this Guardian Fighter. I will say, updated impression of the Guardian Fighter, I had a tough time with him. I really liked him at first because I love this whole active block system where I can block hits, and then when I got to level 10 I found out I could attack while blocking, and that's great. But I started having a hard time with packs on my own. Doing dungeons was fun, absolutely. There's some aggro issues, but a lot of it I think has to do too with people running around and attacking their own targets and not really playing it like a true MMO style, or at least not realizing this whole threat thing. But once I got to 30, and I got my Paragon Path, I don't think I can pull it up from here. Yeah, it's all kind of merged in here. I got this ability right here, Frontline Surge. Knocking down everything in a line is when this character started feeling really good. So I am really liking this character. It's been touch and go, but once I finally got these Paragon Paths thing, it felt great. I'm looking forward to them adding more Paragon Paths, because if powers like this are in these Paragon Paths that just really change the game and make the class feel really great, then I want to see what else they add. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm also looking forward to a few other characters to see what else they come up with. The game is feeling absolutely fantastic. If I were to level one complaint to the player versus environment game, it's that dungeons feel a little overtuned for their level. I have this, the dungeon's gone now because I leveled past it, but there was like a Lair of the Mad Dragon. The instances feel good. They're good dungeons. There's lots of hidden paths and hidden items. It's fantastic. Absolutely love that. But the bosses at the end sometimes feel like they're a bit much. There was the second or third skirmish that I did. I'm sorry, it had to be the third because the second was Orc Assault. There was a skirmish that was great all the way up until the end. The skirmish felt fun, and then at the very end you're fighting this boss that had so much health. It wasn't hard. He had a simple pattern, and we weren't in danger of dying, but he had so many hit points, we basically sat there for like half an hour fighting this guy until he died. And that's not fun. Now, I mean, it wasn't even difficult. It was just tedious. So they need to dial back some of the bosses. Also, one thing I've noticed is bosses, and something I've heard from other people in higher end dungeons, a lot of in-dungeon bosses consist of ads fights. So you basically got a big boss, and then he's got a bunch of little minions that fight you. And it seems like every boss fight has nothing but minions and minions and minions, and so it comes down to tank holds the boss while people DPS down the minions, and then the boss, and then the minions will respawn. You do it all over again. I would love to see them just do a big boss fight. Like the dragon fight that I in the Lair of the Mad Dragon was fine by himself, but then he had so many ads. And again, his hit points were so high. We sat there for probably, I think it was a good 45 minutes. We died the first time because we didn't have his mechanics down. Second time we went in, we had the mechanics down. Our cleric was doing an excellent job. He was keeping everybody up for the most part. And then at 20, and at every like third of his health bar, he would change battle tactics. Only slightly. He'd have one new move that he'd throw in, or the mobs would get tougher, the minions that he spawned. The minions just started overwhelming the party. And the healer eventually dropped, and that was it. It was, you know, nothing we could do. I was busy holding the dragon, and people couldn't get the minions off the cleric, and it didn't go well. Again, it was honestly just a grind. I mean, you sit there 45 minutes fighting a single enemy, and unfortunately that was it. We couldn't continue because none of us were all tired, and people had to go. So that might be good for the epic levels where you go back and revisit dungeons at level 60, because they do that just like World of Warcraft. Even though I can't go back to previous dungeons right now. Well, I could physically go back to the location of the dungeon and walk in. But later on at the end level, you'll get epic versions of the dungeons. You can go in and fight them, you get loot, and it's great. Those might be fine being a bit more difficult, but honestly, if you're going through this and you're doing leveling content, that whole Lair of the Mad Dragon, I can't even do it anymore, and I kind of wish I would have been able to beat it. I might go back on my own later as a higher level character just to do it, but I was really hoping to finish it at level, and I hope that they retune some of the instances. Just bring the health levels down a little bit for some of the bosses. And unfortunately, I've heard that after that dungeon, it's not nearly as bad. So, but other than that, I mean, that's really my one major complaint. Everything else has felt great. I got my Trickster Rogue leveled up. He's like 17 now. Feels fun, just like I remember from the closed beta event. I've got my Control Wizard that I'm leveling up again. And he is, I like him so much better now. I think really what happened there on the videos I did for Control Wizard is I was tired. I was recording for 2 days straight, and everything that you see was done in 2 days on my old videos for the beta. And I was just tired, and I wasn't getting it. And I liked him, but I didn't like him because I was having a hard time with groups. And now I'm a little more refreshed, and I'm like, I know how he works now. I'm like, great, he's fun. I'm really enjoying him so far. Especially when I got him to level 10. I got to tell you, that spell mastery thing is awesome. So the game is looking good. I'm looking forward to getting through to the end content. I will be trying to get together a crafting video for you guys. Crafting, I'm going to go ahead and give you just a quick heads up, since the tutorial is not going to be an opinion piece. The crafting doesn't feel great to me. I kind of like the idea of being able to do this with timers and being able to use the website to craft while I'm, say, at work. You know, if things are slow or I'm on break, I could just quickly go on the website, queue up some work, and it's fine. Problem is, you kind of out-level your crafting. My platesmithing is level 7, and my level 7 rewards, as you can see here, is a level 25 shield, and I'm level 36. I can't do it fast enough. If you play this game more than a couple hours a night, maybe even less than that, you're going to level faster than you can craft. I have been crafting as much as I possibly can, using the website at every possible convenience, and it's just been too much. So I'm going to give you guys a recommendation. You want to go into crafting, or even if you don't want to go into crafting, say you say, no, I'm not going to craft, do yourself a favor and do leadership. Leadership is the big thing. This is where you're going to get extra silver, you can get extra experience, you can get treasure chests with some items in them, and you can also get Astral Diamonds. Some of these will give you Astral Diamonds. You want to do that. Don't do that through the website, by the way. If you're going to do diamonds, it's currently bugged. If you get Astral Diamonds on one of these rewards and you try to claim it on the website, you won't actually get it. Alright, there's a post on the forums about that. I want to give you guys a heads up. Okay, just be very wary about that. But if you're playing the game, by all means, do it. Leadership, all you have to do is queue it up in the background. A lot of these take 1 to 4 hours at an average. And if you do that, you will level up your leadership without even thinking about it. And as you level, as you can see here, I've got 3 because I hit 30. And I've got another one because my profession was level 5, I think. And when this gets to 10, I'll have yet another. So just do that. Grab the leadership thing. It costs you absolutely no money. You honestly don't have to spend any resources on it. It's only the main crafting professions that you have to spend money on some quality items. So there you go. That's my impressions on it. Don't care for the crafting so far, but leadership is honestly a great extra thing to do off to the side. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the field report. And hopefully that's been interesting for you. Let me know what you think, honestly. There's my updated thoughts on the economy. So I know a lot of you have already been giving me your opinions on the other economy video, and I have been listening. I may not have been posting a lot lately, but I've been looking at that, and I've been reading the official forums, and you know, I'm right there with you guys as far as there's just certain things I don't like, certain things that I do, but I'm trying to reserve myself on that. Okay, so thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.